Hey everyone. Okay, so I just kind of want to go over what Miss Davis has been teaching you, and that is on that customary length. You have to make sure that you do have your conversions, and you're using this backside. So for the customary length, let me come around here. This is the part that you're going to be using right now, and then we'll go into the metric. I think I had to double check, but then we'll cover metric, and then tomorrow you're going to be covering customary. So let's go ahead. Today you were doing the even numbers, and then I will post the odd number answers. I think she's already gone through that with you, but I just want to post the video for those that are at home and not able to see it. So for number 2, I'm going to do it on some scratch paper. I have 72. I'm going to switch pencil. 72 inches equals something feet. Now, she may have been doing it a little bit differently, but it's still the same concept when we're using the input-output table. This is the rule or the process. I'm going to convert inches. So this is the input. And the output is feet. I'm going to look onto my conversion chart, and I see that there's 12 inches that goes into a foot. I'm looking at something that is smaller to go to larger, and when it's that way, remember I'm going to be dividing. But I'm going to put 12 inches equals 1 foot. I'm either multiply or divide, and in this case 12 divided by 12 by itself is 1. Now I have 72. If you wanted to, you can keep just going individually. That's fine. Because then remember that the opposite direction is 1 times 12 equals 12. So you're looking at your different your fact families. Whatever you do opposite, you can do the inverse to check. 2 times 12 equals 24. Then I have 36. Do you see how that was working out? 36 divided by 12 equals 3. I know that 36 and double that is 72 divided by 12. 6 double my 3's equals 6. So 6 times 12 equals 72. So then my answer is 6 feet. I'm going to place that right up here. So as you can see, 72 inches equals 6 feet. Good way of using your multiplication chart if you're not really up to par on your multiplication facts. Remember, this is the time right now is to start memorizing them or creating your multiplication chart so that you have that knowledge. It'll definitely make math computations easier. All right, let's look at number 4. 132 inches divided by, and 132 inches into feet. I can actually just carry this on if I want to. So I'm going to move this over onto this side. And then this is the part that I had for number 2. So if you're wanting to continue, so you can continue if you want to over here, or you can make yourself another input-output table for inches, your rule, and your feet. I know that 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Therefore, my rule is to divide by itself. And then 132 divided by 12. So I'm going to just divide that out. 12 cannot go into 1, but it can go into 13 one time. 1 times 12 equals 12. Bring down my 1 and then my 2, so it's 12. 12 goes into 12 itself. If you looked at your multiplication chart, you would have seen 11 times 12 equals 132. So number 4 is 11 feet. So number 2, this is 6 feet. Number 4 is 11 feet. Number 6, on yards to feet. I'm coming over here. I'm finding yards and feet. So now I'm going to use this rule to apply it in my input-output table. So number 6. So do you get the gist of it? And that's pretty much what I want to make sure we go over. On number 6, it was what again? 46 yards and something feet. So 46 yards equals how many feet? My input-output table. This is the input. This is my rule. And this is either going to multiply or divide. Do this every single time so that you don't get yourself confused. So the input is yards. That's my unit of measure. The output is feet. That's my unit of measure I needed to convert. So over here, I know for every one yard, you can see that here, is equal to 3 feet. So for every 1 yard is 3 feet. How did I get from 1 to 3? I had to multiply it by 3. So if I have 46 yards, my rule is to multiply that by 3 to get the number of feet. So I'm going to move it over here. 46 times 3. 3 times 6 is equal to 18. I regroup my 1. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So it's 138 feet. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to move it over here. And then number 8, I'm going from feet to yards. So let's look at number 8. Is this how many feet is equal to, was that 28? It really paying attention. 24 and 2 feet. 24 yards and 2 feet. That's my ball there. Okay. All right. Next, the input-output table. My rule, output, and my unit of measure is feet. I have to either multiply or divide. The output is going to yards. That's my initial one. This is what I have left over. Remember, that's going to be my remainder. And we talked about that. I know you probably talked about it on Monday as well, but we also covered it on Thursday. So I'm looking at my table, and I have yard and feet again. And so for every 3 feet, it's 1 yard. So for every 3 feet, my rule is then to divide by 3. So if I had 24 yards, then where would I be with that? Okay, I'm going to erase this part here because I don't know feet, right? So if I don't know the feet, because that's what I'm trying to convert, I do know the yards, and then I have the 2 feet. So my output is going to be feet. I need to convert my yards to feet. So I know that for every 1 yard, I'm going to multiply it by 3 to get 3 feet. And that's what I saw in my paper over here. For every 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Excuse me. All right. So if I have 24 yards, 24 times 3 equals 72. But I have this 2 feet over here, so I need to add that in, and that's going to equal 74 feet. Okay, and I'm going to place my 74 right here. All right, now let's look at the greater than and less than. So we're looking at the inequalities or find out if they're equal. So we're doing 10, 12, and 14. For number 10, it's 2 miles, and is that greater than, less than, or equal to 3,526? So I'm going to turn the page over here, and I'm going to switch pens really quickly because my pencil must be writing extra heavy or something. So for number 10, 2 miles, and I have 3,526 yards. So I'm looking over here, and I have 1 mile is equal to 1,760. So I know that 1 mile is 1,760. So 2 miles, my rule is to multiply that by 1,760. I can double it, right? So 2 times 0 equals 0. 6 times 2 is 12. Regroup. 7 times 2 is 14. That's 15. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. So it's 3,520. So this is going to be short, 6 yards. So 2 miles is actually greater. Oops, I'm mistaken. That's wrong. 2 miles is less than the 3,526 because 2 miles is equal to this right here. Okay, so this is going to be greater. Let's go to number 12. And on number 12, it reads, I'm going to go ahead and just write that down. 5 miles is 26,300. Now, if you're caught on to it, that's right. But this goes to feet. So let's look at how we're going to do it. This is jumping. So I have miles to feet. So now I got to convert. I can only work from right to left or left to right, and then I have to go down to the next step. So I have to go from miles to yards and then yards to feet. So I'm going to create my input output. I have miles. The rule takes me to yards. And then I'm going to go from yards to, I'm going to write it right over here, 250. to feet. Now, you can combine these where you can just have the rule and then the feet. That confuses me. Again, everybody's different. So if you're great with that, then that's awesome. If you're not, then I would suggest just to break it up. Doesn't hurt anything. For every 1 mile, it's going to be 1,760 yards. I know that I need to multiply that by 1,760. So if I have 5 miles, 1,760 times 5, 0, 30, that's 35, 36, 37, 38. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. So that makes it 8,880. Oh, 8,800. 8,800 yards. So now over here, I know that for every 1 yard, it's equal to 3 feet, right? So I know that I had to multiply that by 3. Well, if I have 8,800 yards, I need to multiply that by 3. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 8 is 24. Regroup. 3 times 8 is 24, 25, 26. So then it will equal to 26,400. All right, now let's look at this one here. 5 miles, is that equal to, less than, or greater than? It's going to be greater than the 26,300 feet because it's equal to this amount. So I'm going to actually just put this up here so it's easier to read. And then I can see, because then I can measure apples to apples, right? And it's easier to read. I'm going to do the same thing up here. I found out that my 2 miles is equal to 3,520 yards. And then this is greater by 6 yards. All right, and then the next problem is number 14. And I'm going to write my 14 right here. And I have 27 feet. Excuse me. Okay, I have to put 27 feet. And I need to convert that to inches. And on here it has 324 inches. Okay, so I'm going to make my table, my input-output table. This is my rule, inches. Okay, so I need to multiply or divide. For every 1 foot, I know it's 12 inches, right? I have to think of a ruler. So I multiply that by 12. Well, if I have 27 feet, I multiply that by 12. I come over here, 27 times 12. I'm going to start at my ones. So I can just separate this if I want to 10 plus 2. So this would be 27. And then 27 times 2. So this would be 270 because anything multiplied by 1 is that number, and I have 1 0. This is 14. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And now I want to add those together. That's 12, right? 7. Yep, it's 12. 2, 3. 324. So I'm going to place the 300. This is 324 inches. Oops. Oh my goodness gracious. I'll get it together. And this makes it equal to. All right, perfect. All right. The next thing that you had were problems 14. So I'm going to look at 14. It reads that a prickly pear cactus is 1 yard tall, and a yucca plant is 35 inches tall. What plant is taller, and how do you know? Okay, so I'm going to look here, and I'm looking at that the pear cactus, I need to convert those, right? Is 1 yard. Okay, so I know that 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. Yeah, there we go, 3 feet. And I know that there's 12 feet. 12 feet. I know that there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So this is going to be 36 inches. I have to convert one or the other. Now I'm going to the yucca plant, and that's 35 inches. Which one is taller? The pear cactus is taller by 1 inch. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and go to this next question, question 18. The length of a cruise ship is 1,092 feet. How many yards long is that cruise ship? Okay, so we're going to convert feet to yards. So let's go ahead and get this one. I'm just going to go ahead and do that one here. I have 1,092 feet. I have my rule. I'm going to yards. I know that, actually, X that. Let me do it this way. I don't know why. Let me just put, I have feet. I was trying to think of 2 different things, and then I ended up doing that. So sorry about that. Because I want to put my rule down. I know that for every 3 feet, it's 1 yard. So I needed to multiply. And I know that I can look at my paper right here. For every 3 feet, it's 1 yard. So I'm going to divide that by 3. Not multiply, but divide by 3. So if I have 1,092 feet, the rule is to divide by 3. How many yards do I get? So I'm going to come over here and start dividing. I have 3 divided by 1,092. 3 cannot go into 0, but it can go into 10 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Subtract it out, leaves me with 1 left over. Bring down the 9. 3 can go into 19 6 times. 3 times 6 equals 18. Bring 9 minus 8 equals 1. Bring down my 2. And 3 can go into 12 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12, and it leaves me with a remainder of 0. So the answer on here is 364 yards. So the answer is D. Okay, look at number 20. Since the 1980 eruption of Mount St. Helens in Washington state, the elevation of its summit is about 1,300 feet lower. How can you calculate the difference in elevation in inches? So we want to go from feet to inches. So let's look at that same process again. Let's see if I can do it this way. This is number 20. I'm going from feet, my rule, inches. I know that for every 1 foot equals 12 inches. I had to multiply that by 12 because my rule is either going to multiply or divide. Divide into itself or multiply it by itself. Or multiply. Okay, I'm getting myself all. So now it's asking me how would I do that? Well, if I had 1,300, I'm going to multiply that by 12. So then the answer is A. All it wanted to know was what was the rule, what was the process. Okay, let's look at number 22. For some reason, I thought the video was on pause. My fault. Tyler's older brother, Joseph, is 5 foot 6 inches tall. Joseph is 16 inches taller than Tyler. How tall is Tyler? All right, so now let's look at the. He said that Tyler's brother, I'm just going to write down my facts. It's 5 foot 6 inches tall. Okay, and Joseph is 16 inches taller. Okay, well, first of all, I need to convert this into inches because we're going to be comparing in inches. So I'm going to go to feet, my rule, to inches, because they wanted me to compare, so I need to see. So for every 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. If I had 5 feet, I had to multiply that by 12. That equals to 60 inches. So I have 60 inches plus 6 equals 66 inches. And Joseph is 16 inches taller. So 66 plus 16, that's 12. 6, 7, 8. He's 82 inches tall. So now I need to go back and convert so that I can find out how. Okay, let me just fix the names because I misread this one here. Tyler's older brother. So this is actually Joseph. And this is actually Tyler. So Tyler is 82 inches tall. Joseph is 5 foot 6 inches. So we're needing to find out 82 inches in feet. So how tall is Tyler? So now I'm going from inches, my rule, to feet. And this is to find out Tyler. That was my bad. So sorry about that. I'm getting back into the swing of things. Thanks for your patience. So I know that for every 12 inches is 1 foot. So I have to divide that by itself. So if I have 82 divided by 12, okay, well, if 5 is 60, 12 times 6 is 72. Am I going to get enough there? Okay, I'm going back and checking really quickly. I made a mistake. I hope y'all saw my mistake. Boy, am I out of it. So just bear with me. Okay, so this was Joseph. He's taller than Tyler. So I was not supposed to add. I needed to subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and just start this problem over. I think that would be healthier for me right now. So here I have Joseph is 5 feet 6 inches tall. Tyler, now Joseph is 16 inches taller than Tyler, which means that Tyler is 16 inches shorter than Joseph, right? So it's the opposite. So we had already figured that 5 feet times 12. This is going to be 66 inches. The 60 plus the 6. So now I'm going to subtract out the 16. Now Tyler's going to be 50 inches tall. So now I'm going to go from inches. I know that's 12 inches equals 1 foot, so I needed to divide that. I'm just kind of skipping through. I hope y'all can understand that. Then I have 50 inches divided by 12. He's going to be less than, so 12 times 5 is 60. So now I'm going to go to 4. 12 times 4 is 48. So it's 4 feet because it's 48, and I have 2 left over and 2 inches. So that would be, so if I did it this way, 12 goes into 50 4 times. 12 times 4 is 48, and I have 2 left over. So it'd be 4 feet and 2 inches. So the answer to this is A. Oh my gosh, so sorry about that, guys. I'm working on getting into the swing of things again. Oh, all right. There you go. That was it for tonight's homework, and I will post last night's. I think you already had the answers, but I'll post those anyway. Thanks again.